Hello everybody, this is Demo Man, a look at the indie games in Xbox Live Indie Arcade. And today we're taking a look at what is either the best or the worst video game ever made. By Squaresoft Entertainment, of course. The Chickening! What is The Chickening? It's a run-and-gun platforming adventure. Made by what is assuredly some of the most demented minds in gaming history. What is it all about? Well, behold! Ladies and gentlemen, The Chickening. Do you remember old games like Action 52 on the Nintendo? You remember how nonsensical most of its platforming games eventually became? Well, this is the modern day equivalent of that. With one crucial difference. Is that dishwasher with an eye in it? Get away from me. A peanut with a bicycle helmet. My god, people! The senses are reeling from the madness. And we're only 30 seconds in. Those games were obviously trying to emulate great games. Was this game trying to emulate those games? So, it is trying to be the most batshit insane video game in history. Intentionally. So, if this is the design aesthetic choice that it went with, what is the gameplay like? Well, it's surprisingly solid. You would not believe me if I told you that. As these miniature dishwashers try to kill me. I am jumping on leather shoes with a chicken who shoots lasers out of his eyes. And there's a pizza rocket over there. Jeez Louise, people. Surely the end is nigh. The gameplay is surprisingly solid. In order to jump, you press X, and the longer you hold jump, it seems the more elevation you get. This is interesting. To say the least, it allows you to jump long distances. Extremely long distances. You have to go around destroying and shooting enemies as you go, collect extra lives like that, even though you start off with about 1 million of them, so it doesn't really seem to matter whether you have any lives or not. And you just fight these crazy enemies all the time. On platforms composed of photographs of people's feet and toes and fingers. And to gain health, you just wait for an animation to begin pecking at the ground. To say this game is surreal is like the biggest understatement I've ever made. What sort of mind created this? That's not to say that I'm hating the game right now. I'm actually kind of loving it because its gameplay is pretty solid. Shoot my precious lasers. Now you can shoot straight ahead of you by pressing the A button, but you can also shoot in somewhat more random directions by pressing the Y button for a wider field of effect. Oh my god, I'm a chicken with its head cut off. At this point, it becomes so hard to control your character. It is literally impossible to keep it going consistently in a single direction. Come on, you can do it. Come on, I'm somehow managing to navigate using a headless chicken. Awesome. Unfortunately, I can't shoot worth a damn. And unfortunately, it looks like I'm stuck in this position now. So I think I'm gonna have to try and kill myself here. Come on. Alright, let's see. What kind of damage will it take to finally kill me? Ah! Okay. Ah, crap, really? Well, it seems like the cat couldn't kill me, so... Come on. Ah, damn it. Come on, kill me. You can kill me, right? Come on. No, it's not happening. Ugh. This is something you have to experience. So, what aesthetic tradition does this fall into? Like I said, crappy, really old platforming titles from the early Nintendo era, where platforming games were the shooters of then. What the hell? You forked it! Insanity. Shoot at this bunny tank. Peck at this food to get some health. There we go. Now you have to ask yourself. What the hell? Oh my god. You have to ask yourself if a game is deliberately trying to emulate something that's so... What the hell? A rainbow shooting horse, people. Wow. Let's take another look at that, shall we? Level 23. A penny saved is mostly worthless. Yep, in today's economy, it sure is. So if a game is trying to deliberately emulate something that's so objectively terrible, can it be called a good experience or a good game? Is it a good piece unto itself? That's a good question, to be honest. This game is not attempting to spread a message. It's not attempting to bring gorgeous art design into play. It's bringing something unique of its own. It's deliberately awful. In many respects. However, it also has smooth controls. Like, they're intuitive. I have no problems with the controls, which in a game that looks like this, you'd expect there to be terrible, terrible controls. But because the controls and gameplay are smooth and somewhat intuitive, I'm pretty much forced to say that if the developers were attempting anything, it was attempting to emulate the fun of the horrible art design of the early Nintendo platformers and early Sega platformers, while simultaneously making that same sort of fun tolerable in a gameplay perspective. In other words, they're attempting to make good from subjectively bad experiences. There's nothing in this game from an art design perspective or technically a gameplay perspective that makes any logical sense at all. I mean, that's a horse attacking me from a toilet with a wrench, for God's sakes. And a poodle attacking me with lasers spawned from 3D glasses. And you have to admit, that alone makes this game a fun experience. Now, if this game had awful controls, then that would be it. You couldn't say this game was good otherwise, like in an objective way, because you'd be flat out wrong. However, games are games, and they require good gameplay more than anything else. It's why Super Mario Bros. Holds up today, even though its aesthetics have aged. It's why early text adventure games, the best ones, hold up. Because they have good gameplay for what they're trying to accomplish. And they have no art to speak of. They rely on the players' imaginations. The only requirement for a game is to have good gameplay. And this game has good gameplay. Begok? Begok? I love that. Just the fact that they have that option there. Alright, try one more time to see what level 10 is about. Totally groovy, brosive, cowabunga. Okay. So, having established that all a game needs is good, functional gameplay, then that makes this game, objectively, a somewhat good experience. Have you ever watched Plan 9 from Outer Space? Or played a game like Big Rigs Over the Road Racing, or watched any of Angry Video Game Nerd's videos on those old Nintendo games? Watching those games in action with all of their art, design, insanity, watching Plan 9 with all of its art, design, insanity as well, watching bad art in motion is fun in its own way. And this game, marrying that with some pretty decent controls and gameplay, well, I can certainly say this game, this type of experience isn't for everyone. But for people who value that type of cheese, that type of insanity, this might be an experience for you. I certainly had more fun playing this game that I've had with most of the indie games I've played so far for this series. I've wanted to keep going in this game because the insanity level is just so high. The music's good too, surprisingly good. This song right here reminds me of the good old days when I used to play Spyro 2. It has that kind of feel to it. This game is obviously trying to get laughs, and it gets them. Every what the fuck enemy you encounter is just another icing on the cake. A squirrel flying an old airplane, wow. Now obviously, you can make the argument that deliberately having terrible art design means that you cannot call this the best experience ever. Of course. That is true. That is very true, actually. I can't argue that. But that doesn't detract from the fact that this game is just so bloody entertaining. I said it before and I'll say it again. I've had more fun with this game than most of the games I've played so far for Demo Man. Whether you like this kind of experience or not, the fact remains this is objectively a good game. There's a few wonky things about its aiming mechanics, and its jumping mechanic takes a tiny bit of time to get used to, but other than that, it's a solid game. A solid game. The art design is just there. That's the case in every game. Even games that look as good as Halo 4. They have to have good gameplay at their core, or else the art design can try all it wants. It's just not a good game otherwise. Of course, Halo 4 had a lot of story problems and stuff that prevented it from getting the high score, but its gameplay was solid. It is an objectively good game. This is why I had to give it a passing grade. This game is a good game, objectively. It's just the concept and art design and story around it. Well, story. Yeah, what story? You formed it. Is unique. Weird. Probably terrible in every respect, but video games are games. and they have to succeed on gameplay terms above all else, and this game certainly does that. So, would I recommend it? For the general population? Maybe not. But, for people who get their jollies from enjoying objectively bad experiences, well, this is the game probably for you. The Chickening, everybody, available on the Xbox Live Indie Arcade. And the insanity goes on. This is Thoughtful Salt, and I'll see you next time.